Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hunt Club podcast, the product briefing show. Today is a special episode again because René came back and joined me on another conversation about threat hunting. René is a senior threat hunter at InfoGuard, and we will talk about using Vectra AI Platform to hunt for exfiltration tools and exfiltration sites today. René, for everyone who haven't met you yet, do you mind giving everyone a quick intro of yourself again?
Okay, hi. Hi everyone. I'm René Kretzinger, working as a senior threat hunter at InfoGuard in Switzerland. We're a cybersecurity company based in the middle of Switzerland and securing all the systems and also hunting through all the systems of the customers. And now, today we will do some getting insights about exfiltration hunting. What I can show you, which points are necessary or recommended to do in your environment to check for exfiltration.
Perfect. Let's start with the attacker techniques then. So, from your experience, what are the common tactics, tools, or sites that you've been seeing attackers using for exfiltration?
Yeah, normally they're using the same tools as also administrators are using. So WinSCP or FTP or curl scripts or something like that.
Yeah.
But also tools like rclone or Mega CMD.
Mm.
Um, we have also seen some special kinds. So there was one case I was seeing during hunting. So if they are using also API sites like Telegram API
Mm.
to exfiltrate data to this one.
Mm.
And if you are not flagging these sites, then it will be really hard to see such exfiltration or kind of exfiltration.
Yeah.
What I was doing there, I was seeing this in the Vectra platform that there
Mm.
was a exfiltration to a Telegram API,
Okay.
but I didn't have the process of this one, and I was checking on the workstation to check which process or command and which user was connecting to the site.
Mm.
And then I was seeing, okay, there was a ChatGPT kind of process starting from a Firefox folder,
Yeah.
and that was really strange. And I was checking, okay, what was placed there, and then I was seeing that they were exfiltrating all the passwords from this Firefox process of Firefox data. So
Mm.
in Firefox database for all the passwords are stored there and all the
Mm.
cookies and something like that. And I was seeing
Yeah.
that this process was sending all the data to the Telegram API. And that is also really interesting to see this in during exfiltration, because yes, exfiltration is a later stage in the meteor check, but it's
Yeah.
also a valid hunting to do in your
Yeah.
environment
Yeah.
to see if there are normal users exfiltrating
Mm.
data, so
Yeah.
malicious insiders,
Yeah.
or normal behavior by administrators. They're using cloud buckets or something like that, but that is also something which is which our threat actors are using. They know
Mm.
that administrators are using these sites or these tools, and then they are also using these tools because maybe they can evade the detections in the
Yeah.
environment. And
Yeah.
then, okay, you're seeing, okay, this user is using this tool. Yeah, that must be not malicious also. And that is something which is also hard in threat hunting to check what
Yeah.
is not malicious or not. But it's challenging to check which channels are legitimate for
Yeah. Yeah.
transfers. But that is also what were discussing in the last podcast, that you
Mm.
need the baseline. So which
Yes.
workstations or users are using these tools or are able or allowed to use these tools. And
Mm.
then you can maybe prepare also some detections if there is a tool or a request to such sites from other workstations or servers, and then it will be better to have this for later or for detection maybe.
Yeah, 100%. I really like
Yeah.
how you say the attackers are very good at blending into what normal users will do. And I remember we were saying how they can evade detections, like exfiltrating a certain amount of data every day, which is under the detection threshold. So it acts like what normal users will do. You also talked about insider, which is totally relevant here because then you can look at how weird if someone is suddenly putting all the files in a same location, and these are the things that you will be able to discover during threat hunting. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the data that you are using for hunting on exfiltration sites and tools. What do you think are the unique value of the data that Vectra provides you, which helps you in these types of hunting?
Yeah, it's always good to have Vector, but also EDI and XDR systems to check for the
Yep.
processes and correlate these alerts. So if
Mhm.
you're seeing that there's a suspicious cloud storage activity, data stage for exfiltration,
Mhm.
abnormal volume upload, data smuggler, or smash and grab in Vector, then
Mhm.
there's something strange going on. You have to check this. Also filter the host by high threat or certainty scores. That is also recommended to check also, and that will also indicate your multi-stage attack. And then you can pivot into the data. So you have all these kind of data in Vector, maybe this Wireshark dumps, and also in the dashboard you're seeing which sites are requested. Is it HTTPS or HTTP or some other cloud buckets or API sites,
Mm.
and then you can get all the data and check in the EDR and XDR or XDR system
Mm.
which process was used there. And it's
Mm.
also recommended to check what was going on 15 minutes before this connection was made. So we can check if is there any data staged on the
Yeah.
host, data staged in zip files or whatever, or maybe before data staged on USB drives, on physical drives.
Hmm.
And then these users or malicious actors are connecting to network transfer sites or using
Yeah.
network transfer tools.
Mm.
And yeah, threat actors are also using this, the normal tools, so they are not using special kind of tools or their own tools. They're using the same tools like administrators are using, and to evade everything, to evade the detection, and to be stealthy in the network. That is something,
Yeah.
and they are using these legitimate channels to avoid also these detections, and that makes it really hard. Yes, but if you're seeing maybe a user working in the HR department contacting with AirClone to Mega upload or so, then that will be really strange because no user is using this as a legitimate um, behavior.
Yeah.
And that will raise the alarms there. And then we will check also why was this tool on this host. That is really necessary to check why these tools or the entry point of the attacker, to check
Mm.
how long were they on this workstation
Yeah.
or servers to exfiltrate all the
Mm.
data, how long were they exfiltrating this data mm, in the incident response, and the SOC. We are also seeing some cases that data
Yeah.
was exfiltrated over a lot of months, so over 6 months, and that was on this system. It was really special because no EDR agent was placed on this system,
Yeah.
and they didn't had Vector also,
Mm.
unfortunately. And then we were starting to using Vector, and then we were seeing this in the connection logs that there was a lot of connections made to this site, And that is, yeah, first one is you have to install on all systems. You have to install an agent for XDR or EDR systems. So you have the visibility was missing there.
Yeah.
And the threat actor was also placing a lot of tools in one folder.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was with the project to placing Vectra into this network on the customer. That's I really recommend us that you have also these insight there, because then you will because you're missing all these connections to these
Yeah.
sites. If there's no EDR or XDR system, yes, you will miss also the process detection. But if you know that there's something strange going on with the uploading or exfiltrated data from this host or from this IP, and you're seeing there's an IP, but I don't have the workstation name, then you have to check, okay, which network
Yeah.
is this workstation placed, and then you have more insights there. But
Yeah.
we are seeing this on all customers. That is really good to have also Vectra in place to see
Yeah.
also the network logs,
Yeah.
which may be missed by EDR or XDR system. That
Yeah.
can happen, but
100%. I want to highlight what you said about the name of the workstation because I know Vectra has done a lot of work back in the back end to stitch together all these different IP address, and then in the cloud it is different account names and alphanumerical IDs. We really work to enrich this data so that it's giving you the name of the workstation or John's laptop, etc., so that you know which one is compromised and you can do something about it. I also like how you talk about looking like having the visibility in the network and also just to look back in understanding the scope of the attack and the finding the original source of it. So these won't be able if you don't have the data and you don't have enough data to look back as well to understand the scope and also what we call the blast radius of the attack. Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
So going, I guess, to kind of wrap up this episode, what kind of advice would you then give security teams looking to start their threat hunting, especially on exfiltration tools and sites?
Yeah, it's good to have when you're remediating or do this prevention. Uh,
Yeah.
Preventive strategies include robust data classification. That is really recommended. That you know
Yeah.
which data is used in your network, and then use also data loss prevention tools also
Yep.
for this one. Network segmentation. It's yeah, if you're blocking normally when you're using firewalls, you're blocking only the traffic from outside to the inside, but it's also necessary to block the traffic from inside to the outside.
Yeah.
That is what I was seeing in a lot of networks that is not really prepared on this or configured on the firewalls.
Mm.
And also, if you're not using proxies or NDR systems like Vector, then you don't have the insights there, and then you need these data to check if there's malicious execution going on.
Yeah.
And then also implementing strong access controls and continuous monitoring for suspicious activities. That
Mm.
is also what I would recommend. So
Mm.
access controls so that there are no users able to exfiltrate data to sites like Mega or so when it's not allowed. So
Yeah.
block this one.
Mm-hmm.
And also employee awareness is really critical to that employees are informed what is happening to the company when they are exfiltrating critical data to Dropbox. So when they're using Dropbox for sharing critical PII data. That is also
Mm.
something which is yeah, not so good for companies when they have some compliance when they
Yeah.
have to be compliant according some frameworks they are using.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's data exfiltration can lead to violations of privacy laws and compliance regulations. That is what I can give you also, and that will have a result to have fines, legal action, or also damage to an organization reputation. Maybe also that's what can happen. Yes, that's, I think, the points I would recommend to check also when you're also hunting for these exfiltration. Yes, it's a later stage in the MITRE attack, but also recommended to hunt for when you're using this, when you also will be compliant to some frameworks.
100%. So combining both prevention and also post-compromise detection and response, and also threat hunting, which can complete the whole, it gives you a better security posture and also defense when it comes to like exfiltration. So great. Thank you so much, René, for this episode again. Loads of great insight for our audience. If you haven't checked out these other 2 episodes that we have been talking about threat hunting, do check them out. And with that, thank you so much again for joining me, René, and I hope to see everyone in the next one. Bye.
Bye.